In today's episode, we're going to be exploring the hidden cost as we unveil benefit scrutiny. The reason I've decided to kind of talk about this today is that there've been a lot of discussion about the government coming out with a policy that allows for them to check your bank account if you are on benefit. The purpose of which is to ensure, according to them, that people claiming benefit are right to do so, and it is only going to those that need it. And whilst I get this, because the idea is about ensuring that we can prevent fraudulent claims. So, if we're going to be preventing this, I suppose one of the ways is by checking people's bank accounts. Absolutely amazing. Let's do that. And then when we check, and then we realize that people have got more savings, which I believe is around £16,000 you're meant to have. And if you've got £16,000 or above, then you're no longer entitled until you've been able to use that money and it falls below that threshold before you can then reapply and reconvince whoever it is that is going through that application that you're entitled to it. I suppose what this does, on the one hand, the government would argue, or the people setting this sort of laws would argue, is that it allows for individuals to be accountable for their claims and to ensure fairness and to protect your money. Great, right? Of course, we need to ensure that when you're paying your taxes, it is being used for the right cause. There's nobody that wants it any better than you or me or everybody else in society, other than the people sometimes that would fraudulently claim this. But my question is, if we are going to target a certain group, what happens to the other? Who gets to set the tone as to where the fairness lies? Is there fairness for only a certain group of people and not the other group? I would have thought fairness would have been for all. And the reason I'm asking this is that I worry that by only ensuring that certain individuals who are making these claims are accountable, the people that are making the laws are not being held to account. Why do I say this? What happens when people in authority make decisions such as, in the pandemic, spending millions of pounds in buying PPEs that were useless, and all these other services like building hospitals we were told were going to be used to isolate people that were never used, and also the payouts that certain individuals and contract that certain individuals got, and how they were fast-tracked into getting some of that. What happens to those people then? If we can focus our attention on the less privileged, can't you see that indirectly the distraction that's been used here is away from the larger sort of issue of inequality within the system, the flaws within the welfare state on its own? If people are feeling the need to want to claim benefit, do we feel that it is because there is a lot of resources within the system that is allowing them to do the things that they are meant to do? in the hospitals? Are there enough staff in there to be able to cater for the needs of everyone? The schools, are there enough teachers in there to be able to cater for your children and my children? The nurseries, you're entitled to 16 hours, but their hours are not within the times that you are gonna be able to physically do any jobs. Your school is constantly asking you to make donations and contributions so that they can look after your kids. By the time you pay for childcare, you're near enough out of a home because they're so expensive. Whilst all of this is going on, I've got to remind you, I've got to check your bank accounts because I need to make sure that you haven't got £16,000 or more. Who's got the time to be able to save that amount of money if they can't even feed themselves? Whilst all of this is going on, there are certain individuals within society that are happily benefiting, but you can't ask the questions. You can't check these people's account. You know why? Because it is against their privacy. Isn't that interesting? There was a politician recently, they were asking to check the text messages around the COVID conversation that was going on here in the UK. And privacy was what was being bandied around. My question again is, does this idea of privacy only apply to one group and not the other? And if it is, where is the fairness? If we're going to be fair to one, we need to be fair to all. But this then rallies the idea of where, as a community, do we think our responsibility lies? Where do we think that we need to be taking actions? Because if you're worrying about your neighbor that receives a couple of hundred for benefits, and the people you've put in there to make decision in your best interest are not doing this, do you think that you owe yourself a duty to stand against that? And by standing against this, I'm not saying that you go out there and wreak havoc and all of that. That's not what I'm saying. All I am asking you is that you've got a voice, and your voice is through your cards. Your vote is your voice. Rather than consistently falling for the last minute change that is there to kind of gear you up to say, look at us, look at what we've been doing. Oh, look at what we're going to do. How about look at the track record? What have they been doing? And who has been benefiting from it? Because I can guarantee you right now, it wasn't you. And if it wasn't you, who was it? Because the idea of them being there is about serving you, your family. That's why they are called public servants. And if they're not doing that, then they're not doing their job, are they? Because if you were to do a tenth of what some of these people do in your, you'd be lucky to get away with a tenth. If you were to make the level of mistakes that some of these people are making, I can guarantee you you'll be sacked very quickly. But for some reason, this doesn't apply. Where is the fairness? I'll leave this with you. And I would like you guys to please comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about this one. If you like what we're all about, please like, subscribe, and join our community. And until next time, people, you make sure that you look after yourself. Don't forget that a new episode comes out every Friday at 6 p.m. Please stay tuned. It has been Kings. Peace. Bye for now.